Hello, entrepreneurial clinicians. Welcome to This is Private Practice episode, whatever it says in the title of this thing. I'm having a go at batching some content because when I'm feeling well, I feel like I've got a lot of things I want to say. And on the days that I'm not well enough to do this, I want to have something that I can contribute. Working out that that's a strong driver in my recovery. Doing work that makes me feel like I'm contributing, that I'm making a difference, that I am connecting the dots for people, where I'm inspiring, where I'm helping with perspective is incredibly important to my own mental health. So I know some of you are wondering, why am I still working, or how can I still be working during this season of chemotherapy? Well, quite honestly, there are days I can't and I don't. And I'm learning what that means. But work has always been a part of my resilience. It's always been a part of what activates my sense of mission, my sense of purpose, and we all know that those are building blocks for good mental health. So when I was forced to confront the concept that I could not work during recovery, that was really hard for me. I tried it for 2 weeks. I didn't like it. I actually felt like I was deteriorating rather than I was recovering. So I am in a very fortunate situation where I know all the research and have been living the good work is good for your health message for many, many years, and reorganizing what good work means for me during this season has, I've had the ability to be able to do that. And I'll speak into that more in future days because I haven't quite got enough historical perspective to provide any real insights into that yet. But I wanted to speak today into what it's like as somebody who is asked to speak a lot. Because I know many of you want to be known as a speaker. You'd prefer it to be paid speaking, but I'm going to speak into the whole paid versus unpaid speaking gig a little bit later in another episode. But I do a lot of speaking for other people and I love it. I'm good at it. So that's why I keep getting asked. Now there are some, I've had to learn to be really discerning in what I say yes to, because I have been a part of people's events, online summits, online whatever you want to call them, multi-speaker event things, and I've had some pretty ordinary experiences. And I think for those of us who want to do more speaking, or those of us who are thinking about running an event, this message is specifically for you, so it's basically for everybody. So so let me talk about the common themes of the lousy experiences. This is where I walk away from the whole experience feeling incredibly used. The expectations of me promoting your event have been onerous. I have been sent it's like, Joe, really love you to be a part of this event. Please say yes, you'd be amazing. This is when it's happening. So that's the pitch. Then I go, hey, I'd like to know more. And then you get reams of screens of all of the expectations. This is where people have the nerve to say, you will send this many emails this many times to the people in your database promoting my event. It often feels like many people have gone to the same school of how to run an online event. I can tell because you've all got the same language in your emails, which again, that is a big no-no for me. If I can see copy and paste stuff going on, I'm like, you're not for real. You haven't done this before and I am now scared. That is a red light for me. So I feel used. The expectations of me promoting your event are incredibly onerous. Basically, you want to hijack all of my social media and content for the duration of what your event is. You present yourself as though you're doing me a favor. Come on. We all know that's not the case. And then once the event's over, I never hear from you again. And when I ask you for help with something, crickets, nothing, nada. So I have a place where those names go, and I'm very, very cautious about engaging with those people again, which means I would be very cautious about promoting their social media content, which means I would be very cautious about ever saying yes to them again, which means if I ever get a referral that might have been a good fit for them, no. So when you ask someone like me, or when you're asking for speakers or participants to your event, we understand that this is to build your list, to build your business, not mine. You may think that you're doing me a favor, but really it needs to be much more of a joint venture. Therefore, we need to have a mutual level of respect. So now there are some people in my world who have done this exceptionally well, and they're incredibly different, and I don't even know if they know each other. And what's really interesting for me upon reflection and preparing for this episode today is 2 of the people out of this 4, we needed to do some relationship repair, because we're all strong-minded, strong-willed people, and sometimes our expectations weren't met. Sometimes we felt like we weren't being respected, and we've had to grow up and get over that. And I'm kind of proud that we did. So the 4 people in my world who have done this, inviting me in and treating me with respect, which will come up a lot as a speaker or a presenter, have been Gerda Muller here in Australia, Dee Diaz, Ernesto, Sigismundo, I'm so scared I'm going to say that wrong every time, and Marissa Lawton. Marissa Lawton was the first person who turned up in my inbox and then as a summit that showed me it could be done differently. She was the first person where I had this amazing experience of community for the speakers. It was the first time I had been involved in an event where she cared as much for her presenters as she did for her participants. And that is what I would say all 4 of these people have done exceptionally well. And that is why I am more than happy to present the bejesus out of anything that they do. So what are the common themes that make me wanting to participate in these events? Well, there's a respect for my knowledge, my time, and the commitment that's expected of me. There are very clear expectations from the beginning. The pitch does not result in a whole heap of new expectations. There's an incredible sense of community being built. I do not need to talk to all the other presenters every day. I do not want a community where my Facebook notifications is hijacked by some secret group. Gerda did this incredibly. She only opened up her green room, her online green room, I think 48 hours before her last event, and it was awesome. We got to encourage each other as speakers and presenters before we all went on. We got to talk about what we were seeing and what we were witnessing and how we could see other people turning up. We got to share with each other, hey, do you want to get in touch with this person because this person was talking to you? That was fantastic. It really felt like we were in this together. It really stopped any sense of prima donnas turning up, and it was just a really pleasant experience. So the expectations are clear, the respect is there, the sense of community is strong, and I wasn't expecting that. But now I've gone on to be connected with people I didn't even know that actually I'm glad I do. I have stronger referral pathways now. So whenever someone in Australia reaches out to me for needing a mental health treatment clinician, I have a whole community of people that I go to, and I go to them first. Going, I need help with this. Can you help me? And they're like, yeah, I can. No, I can't. Go here, go there. It's awesome. So there's also a really strong values fit. And I think this is something that people forget. If my values aren't aligned to your values, you do not want me speaking at your event. I will be a poor fit. I will confuse your audience. And you will probably feel like I've ripped you off or I haven't done my job properly. But you need to know me well enough, and let's face it, there is enough information online about me to know that I would be a good fit for your event, not that I would draw a crowd. The best way to make someone feel used is to use them for their influence. Unless you state up front, I want to use you for your influence. And again, that comes down to being respectful. I want to walk away from each of these events that I say yes to, feeling like I've added value and that I've been valued, that I've been respected. And then I want to promote, then I want to connect, then I want to share, then I want to refer, then I want to engage even more. So if you're looking at running an online multi-speaker event next year, could you please, or even later this year, could you please take notice of some of the things that I've said here today? And if you want to be a speaker at some of these events, can I please, please, please ask you to make sure that you are ticking off that this is going to be a good fit for me, that I know what the expectations are for me. because I've never run an online event or a conference, but the one thing that I see happening time and time again is people say yes and then they don't follow through. They say yes and they don't follow through. It's one of the reasons why I've never run an event. They're hard friggin' work. They are really hard work. And anyone who has had to take a in-room event and turn it to an online event this year, kudos, because that was a massive shift. So I'm going to speak some more into the speaking and how to become a speaker and what's expected and why do it and how do it in future episodes of This is Private Practice. But I thought this was really important to take away today, because I can see more and more requests for participation coming into my inbox, and I'm just really grateful that I've had these experiences in the past where I can now be a lot more discerning. And I just want to pass this information on to you, both as somebody who wants to be a speaker or wants to raise their influence that way through speaking, and this includes podcasting too. It's not just online events. Actually, I might do a whole separate episode on that. Very cool. Alrighty, people. I am going to go. I'm feeling very confident that I have now recorded an episode of This is Private Practice to go live on a day when I am actually not well enough to do it, because that is how we're managing my self-care. Well, that's a part of it. It's not all of it. That's a part of it. So until I get to see you again, go be your awesome self.